Right, I tried to do a video on conditioning the bones, but for some reason my camera just completely screwed itself over, so I've got to go over the same stuff I went over again. So anyway, this is my video about conditioning the body and the bones. Before I start off, there's a few things I want to say. The first is, don't overdo this. Your bones and your muscles and your body in general is a fragile organism, and overdoing this you'll end up doing a lot more damage at points than your body can handle, and you end up doing more damage than your body can recover from. So what will happen is, if you overdo this process, you won't give your body enough time to recover, and you'll either end up doing this process forever without seeing results, or you'll end up weakening yourself from overdoing it. So be careful when you're conditioning your body, right? Another thing is, don't do it with too much force. So for an example, basically to condition your bones, you have to hit your bones with an object, or hit an object with your bones, right? Now you might think, oh okay, so I've got to damage my bones in a certain way. Well, I'll just smash the wall at full force. You'll just break yourself, right? You just break yourself, yeah? You can't do stuff like that. When you see these guys who break cement with their fists or with their heads, these guys have been conditioning their bodies to do that for like a minimum of 2 years. Some of these people have been doing it for 10, 20 years, right? So their bodies are adapted to that. If you try to break, 3 or 4 cement blocks without any prior training, you'll probably break your head, not the blocks. I could possibly break a few cement blocks with my head. I wouldn't like to try it. Definitely with my elbows I could, I don't know how many cement blocks I could break. I could break a few cement blocks with the elbows, because I've done this for years. 21 years is a long time. If I'd have focused all of my training on just breaking cement blocks, I could probably double or triple the numbers that I can actually break now. Because, I'd have conditioned my bones just to break cement blocks. I'd have very, very hard bones at certain points in my body. But I can't, and I'm not going to try and attempt to break, 20 cement blocks with my elbow, because I'll either break my elbow or just damage myself, realise it's not possible, and move on with life. So yeah, just be mindful of that. Now, I actually train my body by actually just hitting it, just punching it, because I'm fairly accustomed to being hit, to be honest. But most people off the bat, I wouldn't recommend this for, unless you've got quite strong bones. This will hurt you a lot. What I would recommend is getting yourself a spoon and lightly tapping all of your bones and little bits of your muscle. Do this for 10 to 15 minutes, not just your head, your elbows, that little bone under your arm, your ribs, the collarbones here. These are ones that you can often forget. Your ribs, like I said, here hitting your ribs, on the other side, as I say. You can go into your knees, here, this little part of your knee here, onto your shins. Now, as you can see on my shins, I'm pretty well just smashing my shins, yeah? I'm doing this fairly hard, right? I wouldn't recommend you doing this, yeah? Just take it gently. If it hurts quite a lot, stop it, or do it more gently, or find another method. I smash things with my shins every day for about an hour a day, right? I kick that guy that I have downstairs for about an hour a day, so. And like I said, I've been doing this for 21 years, so I'm quite accustomed to it. Don't overdo it, like I said. But yeah, gently go around the different bones of your body, bit by bit. I'll show you some. I can do my elbows here. This little bone here, my hands, the little bones. My fingers, just gently go around the whole body like this. Hit this bone up here, collarbone, and now I can go along the other arm in the same sort of way, yeah? Get my ribs, like I said before. Get these bones in here, these backbone. know, the spine, the back part, into the ribs, all of that I can get. Yeah? So that's how I would start conditioning my bones if I didn't already have hard bones. Even the hips, everything you can get, you know, just a little bit. If you're quite an old person, if you're 80 years old, 70 years old, or you've got bone problems, don't do this. You know, consult a professional, because your body's just not equipped to do this kind of shit, right? Now your muscles, you've also got to condition, but you can't really condition them with a little spoon because they're not the right kind of impact. So what I do is I just hit my muscles. So let's see if I can demonstrate that. I generally sort of karate chop, you know, my arms, this kind of thing. Just a little bit, just a little. You know, I don't have to go to excess. Some people buy large sticks and sort of cane themselves around the body gently. The Chinese do that quite a lot. I've seen the Buddhist monks do that. Some of the Chinese, the more really fucking hardcore martial artists, like they punch themselves like I do, proper punch themselves, proper this kind of thing. With your neck, if you're going to do your neck, be extremely gentle. Yeah, I can hit my neck quite hard because I've conditioned myself to be able to do that. Yeah, but don't. If I were you, if you're new, or if you don't know what you're doing, just don't do that. You know, just very, very gentle force, even just a tap. Yeah, because this is a very sensitive part of your body. You know, if you hit yourself too hard in the neck, you're dead. You know, this part of the throat, you break your throat here, you're dead, mate. So just with like a little point of your hand like that, just gently, just a little bit more than a massage, not quite a stroke, not quite a massage, you know? Especially this front bit here. Because these points really, these are kill points, you know? It's very dangerous to hit yourself hard at these sort of pressure points. Do that along your muscles, you know, get yourself here, sort of these little bits. Now, the stomach I'd be careful with, and actually if I were you, tense the stomach and more poke it, because you'll find it, if you hit yourself in the stomach with a lot of force, even if you've got a six-pack, you just end up with digestive problems because you're shaking all of your intestines and all that shit around. So you're best off just poking that like so to get those outer muscles, not to get those inner muscles, and to just do sit-ups. Basically, that's how you train this part. But this part's very sensitive part, just like the neck. It's sensitive for different reasons. You know, if you punch yourself a lot in the stomach, you're not going to die instantly. You're probably not going to die over time. I mean, if you did it every day really hard, 100, 200 times, 300 times, really hard, you could get quite sick. But you'll end up with digestive problems. You'll end up pooing yourself and puking if you do this too regularly or too intensely. So be careful with the stomach, it's a sensitive area. And you know, you hit your legs, be careful with that. Your stomach, your head, and your neck. Those are the main points to be careful with. See this muscle here, you know, just punch that there. So that when it comes to me being hit in a real fight, my muscles are all nice and ready for that, yeah? That little bit that I do every week or so, that little bit makes a difference, yeah? So basically that's how I condition my body. But there's another thing I do, which not everyone else does. I do the testicles, but with light force. Now this, I wouldn't recommend most people to do, especially beginners. It's quite painful. This is just for the martial arts nutcases like myself. This is so that I can get hit in the testicles and keep fighting. This, I wouldn't recommend for anyone who's just doing this for the sport or just doing this in general. You know, I wouldn't recommend this for the average person. And then there's one more trick I've got that I'll show you. And you're gonna look at this and you think, that's for girls, right? Yeah, alright, you can say it. You can say that's for girls. You can say I'm a big woman. Whatever, I'm not a sensitive man. Basically, If you look here on my leg, see that? That's clay, yeah? That's clay that I've put on my leg. On the other side I put clay there as well for the bones. The reason I've done that is because I think that you can absorb some of the minerals through your skin, and it's quite high in calcium, this type of clay. I think it's called bentonite green clay. It's quite high in calcium and other minerals, and obviously as your skin absorbs that, you transfer a little bit into your body. It's a good way of getting a few minerals into your body. And so I basically do a mascara. You know, you see those women and they get all that health thing, and all the men kind of just think it's stupid, but they're women, so you know, let them have their thing and feel pretty. Well, it turns out it's quite good for you, because you absorb all these minerals. You absorb all these minerals from the clay. So it's an option if you want to do it. You know, I'm not saying you have to, this is just what I do. I believe it gives you a little bit of advantage, but I rub these minerals into me generally after one of these conditioning sessions, just to give my body this extra boost, you know, every now and then. And it doesn't have to be limited to just your face, or like just my face and my legs. I can put it on my shoulders, really just wherever, you know. It's quite good for the body, this. So yeah, the next time, if you're a guy, you see your missus doing a mascara, maybe you should consider giving it a go. Not because you want to act like a woman, but because it's actually got some health benefits, you know. And of course, the other thing is to eat well and to sleep well. Yeah, you've got to eat well. Got to get your protein, get your carbs, and a mineral-rich diet. Don't be eating too much shitty food, all that junk takeaway food. It's not good for you. Carbonated drinks aren't very good for the bones either. They block the calcium pathways. Actually, I think coffee isn't, well, caffeine itself isn't very good for the bones, if I remember rightly. I think amphetamines are bad for the bones as well, because they block the calcium pathway. I'm not entirely sure about that. I think I read that somewhere, but I might be misinterpreting that for another stimulant. So yeah, keep a clean diet, alcohol, try and cut that. Just in general for martial arts related stuff, or even just health related stuff, cut your alcohol. And sleep very well. Try and get as much sleep as you can, because that's where you're doing the most of your resting. That's where your body is really trying to recover from what you've done during the day or during the week, or you know, whatever you do during your life. Your body recovers whilst it sleeps. That's about it really, you know. Just stay diligent with it, don't overdo it. You know, try and reach every area you can. You know, get every single little bone, every little muscle that you can, if you can. I didn't in this exercise, mainly because I was just demonstrating, but normally, you know, I'd hit these little bits here, around the ear, the inside of here, you know, little tiny bones within the knee, everywhere I can basically. And yeah, just don't overdo it, get sleep, eat well, look after yourself, and try and keep this as a routine, you know. Like I said, I do it once a week, then twice a week, then once a week, then twice a week, then I have 1 week rest, so I do a 5-week cycle. Anyway, that's all I've got to say. I hope that was useful to you, and good luck with your lives.